The Galactic Council always kept a close eye on new species that emerged in the cosmos, evaluating whether they posed a threat or could offer potential alliances. When humanity first made its presence known, the Council anticipated little. The humans hailed from a distant, relatively obscure solar system and seemed technologically behind. However, what they lacked in advancement, they made up for in sheer resilience. They'd endured millennia of self-imposed challenges, only to keep pushing forward. The Autocracy was a highly advanced and regimented faction within the Council composed of a species known as the Zelkarth. The Zelkarth were revered for their formidable technology and strict adherence to structure and hierarchy. They considered themselves the epitome of order and strength, with a society crafted to eliminate weakness at every level. For them, diplomacy was a token formality to pacify weaker races while gaining resources. When humanity entered the galactic arena, the Zelkarth saw them as potential assets to exploit or, if necessary, obstacles to remove. To study humanity, they assigned Varek, one of their most accomplished strategists, cold and calculating. He had dismantled countless civilizations that had challenged the autocracy's dominance. Varek saw humans as no different, but the reports filtering in from the field were intriguing. Varek observed his first human engagement on the cold, desolate planet of Drake Shoal. A mining outpost was in distress, and humans had been sent as part of an emergency response fleet. The environment was hostile, oxygen scarce, and gravity crushing. Varek expected them to falter, assuming their fragile bodies couldn't withstand such conditions. But the humans didn't hesitate. They pressed on, working tirelessly in shifts, not for personal gain, but to rescue alien miners trapped underground. As he watched, Varek noted their ingenuity. They repurposed local materials, adapted alien technology to their advantage, and seemed driven by a deep-rooted need to help those in peril. Even at the risk of their own lives, the concept baffled him. Days later, Varek received a report detailing a skirmish between a human vessel and a Zelkarth scout fleet. Though outgunned and outnumbered, the humans had managed to disable several Zelkarth ships, using tactics so unorthodox that it bordered on chaotic. They exploited weaknesses in the fleet's formation, a vulnerability no Zelkarth strategist would have ever imagined could be leveraged. Instead of retreating, they charged head-on, with almost reckless abandon, trusting each other to execute moves that defied convention. These humans didn't see rules the same way. Where the Zelkarth prized order, the humans thrived in chaos. Their adaptability allowed them to turn any environment, any disadvantage, into an asset. But it wasn't just adaptability. It was a tenacity woven into their very nature, an unwavering refusal to yield even when faced with the insurmountable. The next report from Varek's scouts disturbed him deeply. A human scientist had, in collaboration with an alien research team, crafted a weapon that could disrupt Zelkarth, shielding a feat considered impossible among the Zelkarth. He delved into the logs, fascinated and horrified by their problem-solving methods, rather than attempt to overpower the shields with brute force. The humans had observed minuscule energy fluctuations, tweaking their devices to exploit the microsecond gaps in shield frequency. Where the Zelkarth saw a wall, humanity saw potential cracks. Varek began to understand that humans' true strength was not only their adaptability or ingenuity, but their boundless willingness to embrace uncertainty. Unlike the Zelkarth, who clung to predictability and structure, humanity celebrated the unpredictable, harnessing it to evolve faster than any race he'd encountered. In his final report to the Council, Varek wrote, "Humans are unlike any race within the galaxy. Their strength does not lie in technology or physical prowess, but in an unyielding spirit, a relentless drive to survive and protect one another. Even in the face of certain doom, they thrive where others fall, adapting in ways that defy logical strategy, transforming limitations into strengths. The autocracy may find them a valuable ally or a formidable adversary, for their weakness is only an illusion." What Varek did not admit, not even to himself, was the tiny flicker of doubt that had taken root. Perhaps the autocracy, with all its technology and perfection, was the one with weaknesses, and in the end, he wondered if humanity's greatest secret was their ability to expose the hidden frailties of others, simply by refusing to give up. The Council, of course, dismissed Vorek's report as an exaggeration. Humanity, they reasoned, was just another ambitious species that would eventually learn its place, but Vorek wasn't so sure, and deep in the heart of the autocracy, seeds of change began to take root. Vorek's initial report sparked interest, but few of his superiors gave it the weight he felt it deserved. Still, the stories of human exploits continued to circulate within the autocracy's intelligence networks, rippling through the ranks. Some officers dismissed them as exaggerated myths, yet others couldn't help but wonder if there was truth behind the tales of this improbable species that thrived on defying expectations. Months later, Vorek's second encounter with humanity arrived sooner than anticipated. The autocracy had long maintained control over the resource-rich planet of Ortham Prime, a fortress world-renowned for its defenses and impenetrable shields. When a combined force of human and allied vessels approached Ortham Prime, the Zelkarth commanders barely paid them any mind. The fleet was, by their assessment, underpowered, outclassed, and made up of ships that looked like they'd been cobbled together from whatever scrap was available. Vorek, now positioned as an observer, watched quietly. What followed defied the principles the Zelkarth held dear. The Battle of Ortham Prime. As the human-led fleet engaged, Vorek noticed they employed not only tactical prowess but something more subtle. He saw their communications buzzing, their coordinated chatter interwoven with morale-boosting phrases and moments of levity. Where Zelkarth officers delivered curt, efficient commands, the humans spoke as if they were old friends gathering courage from one another. They fought with precision, but also with purpose. Each ship was not just a vessel in a fleet, but a family defending one another, a community bent on survival. In a shocking move, the human ships began diving into the fringes of Ortham Prime's shield, hammering it in short, seemingly random bursts. The Zelkarth forces on the surface watched, amused at the feeble assault, failing to recognize the method behind the chaos. Over time, though, the Zelkarth's shield engineers noticed something unusually irregular energy fluctuations rippling through the planetary defense grid. The humans had analyzed the shield's energy signature in real time and were exploiting its blind spots. They coordinated their fire to overload specific segments, creating temporary fissures. Within moments, the Zelkarth planetary shield, a marvel of autocracy engineering, faltered, leaving Ortham Prime exposed. The human allied fleet struck with full force, sending Zelkarth forces into a disorganized retreat. Despite sustaining heavy losses, the human fleet never relented, sacrificing ships strategically to open corridors and weaken defenses further. It was a spectacle of audacious tactics, but what struck Vorek most was their resilience. Even as they lost ships and lives, their morale remained unwavering. By the battle's end, Ortham Prime, a world the Zelkarth had thought invincible, had fallen, its impenetrable shield shattered by the sheer willpower and ingenuity of humans. The Zelkarth forces were stunned, but Vorek knew this wasn't simply a tactical defeat, it was a psychological blow. For the first time, the autocracy had encountered an enemy that could adapt faster, who didn't see rules as immutable, and who would press forward regardless of the odds. A deeper look. In the aftermath, Vorek pored over human data, reviewing every scrap of intelligence he could gather. He needed to understand this elusive strength, this unpredictable edge humanity wielded so effectively. It was clear that their technological achievements, though impressive, weren't the sole reason for their success. Humanity possessed a mindset he'd never seen in any other species. Their society wasn't unified under one ideology or government like the Zelkarth. They were a patchwork of cultures, beliefs, and philosophies. Vorek observed that this diversity fostered something he could only describe as creative chaos. Their disagreements, he realized, didn't weaken them but instead forced them to find new solutions, adapt rapidly, and learn from failure. He uncovered stories of human explorers who'd faced isolation in the cold void of space, surviving not just because of their technology but because of their unbreakable will. Tales of engineers who, when starship engines malfunctioned, had crafted makeshift repairs out of spare parts and have returned home as heroes. Accounts of soldiers who, even when cut off from reinforcements, held their ground to protect their comrades. A final report. Vorek submitted his findings to the council with a sense of urgency, warning that humanity's unique combination of courage, creativity, and adaptability made them unlike any other species the autocracy had ever encountered. He outlined the distinct possibility that, if humanity was not carefully managed or, better yet, allied with it, could become a destabilizing force within the galaxy. His superiors dismissed the report as defeatist paranoia, but Varek had anticipated this reaction and took a daring step. He traveled to Earth himself, disguised and hidden, to observe humanity firsthand. Immersing himself among the humans, he quickly learned the depth of their strengths went beyond the battlefield. They didn't just survive hardships, he found meaning in them. Where other species saw difficulty as a barrier, humanity viewed it as an opportunity. When they encountered death or loss, they transformed grief into art, literature, or scientific curiosity, ensuring that nothing, not even tragedy, went to waste. Varek watched humans innovate in sectors unrelated to warfare, medicine, agriculture, art, and saw how even these pursuits added layers to their resilience. The Council's mistake. Years passed, and Varek, now disillusioned with the rigid autocracy, defected to humanity. He offered the Alliance his knowledge, his skills, and a warning: the Zelkarth would come, and they would not make the same mistake twice. He urged humanity to stay ready, knowing that they need every bit of their remarkable adaptability to withstand the force of the autocracy. As he stood among his new human allies, gazing out at the stars, he realized the irony. The very strengths he'd sought to document in his reports were what he now came to rely on: their courage, their stubborn hope, and, above all, their ability to face the unknown without fear. When the Zelkarth eventually returned, they faced a human force more united than ever, and as Varek took his place alongside the humans he'd once sought to control, he understood that humanity's greatest secret was not their adaptability or their endurance, but their ability to inspire loyalty, even in those born to oppose them. The Autocracy Chronicles, Humanity's Strengths and Secrets. Epilogue. Years passed, and Varek's words haunted the council chambers, whispered among Zelkarth leaders who had dismissed his warnings. Tales of human tenacity spread, woven with the story of Varek's defection, and a small but powerful faction within the council began to question their own unwavering rigidity. Some began to wonder if there was truth in his final message, that the autocracy's strength was a brittle illusion, held together by their fear of change. Humanity, however, had moved forward, embracing Varek as one of their own. He adapted to human life, finding himself enthralled by the freedom and creativity that flourished in every aspect of their culture. He saw how humans rallied not just for survival, but for growth, art, and joy. Their ingenuity had accelerated beyond what he'd ever imagined, with technology, medicine, and new alliances forming faster than any one species could achieve alone. The autocracy's control slipped as these new ideas and alliances spread, reshaping the galaxy in unexpected ways. On the eve of what would be the Zelkarth's last major offensive, Varek stood among his human comrades, preparing for battle one final time. As he watched the humans around him, soldiers, scientists, diplomats, felt a profound sense of belonging. He understood now that he had been wrong. Even in his last report, humanity's greatest strength was not just their adaptability, not just their courage in the face of darkness. It was their ability to inspire others to hope, to create bonds even across species, and to forge paths of peace where others saw only war. When the Zelkarth forces arrived, expecting to find a scattered alliance, they were met instead by a united front, a coalition of species that had learned from humanity's example. The battle was fierce, but as the human-led alliance held strong, the Zelkarth forces began to waver, fractured by the weight of their own inflexibility. And in the final moments, when the autocracy's mighty fleets began to falter, it was Varek's voice that sent out a single message across both fleets: the future belongs to those who change, choose to evolve, or be left behind. In the end, humanity didn't just survive, they reshaped the galaxy, teaching even the mighty Zelkarth that true strength was not about domination, but connection. And Varek, once a symbol of the autocracy's indomitable might, had become a bridge between two worlds, an emblem of the future he had once feared but now fully embraced. The chronicles of humanity's strengths and secrets lived on as legend, and the galaxy would never be the same again.